Okay. Since I don't have much time, what is Linux network namespaces? And this is one of the most important namespace that we have in the Linux kernel, but you have to think of it as code that gets reused. It's your network stack, all of your network code in the kernel that you can have multiple instances of it. You can create more network instances in your machine. It's pretty easy. Usually the network stack, and this is oversimplified, has your devices, your routing, and your firewall. This is usually, generally speaking, your Linux routing. Now you can create another instance of the same thing with one general difference in devices. Here you see v11 and here you see ETH0. This is, you cannot have one device in multiple network namespaces. The only device that can actually be available in each network namespace is the loopback device, and it's not the same loopback device in each network namespace. It's completely different. So this is the main difference. You can add another one here, and the commands that I have here on the right are the actual commands that you need to execute on your Linux box as a root to create a network namespace. Then you can list them, obviously, and you can start a process inside this network namespace. This is the most difficult part to understand. Usually all of your commands that you execute are running on the host machine, right? But if you create a new network namespace and you want to access that thing, you simply have to tell the kernel that all of your commands now that are network related should go to the new namespace. How you do this? With the IP command, you actually enter the new network namespace by simply executing in this case in the Stargate network namespace bash, the command bash, and you get a bash prompt. That is, your bash is now running in the other namespace. So how does it look? On my machine here, I'm listing only the physical interfaces, and what you can see here, I have 4 interfaces: loopback, WiMAX, wireless, and Ethernet. And if I get into the Stargate network namespace and I list the devices, I have only the loopback device. That's it. It's so simple. Now we have to add more devices to this network namespace to be a little bit more useful. We can move one device like ETH0 to the Stargate namespace. Now when we enter the Stargate namespace and we list the device again, we see that the third device from my previous here, the third device is ETH0, so the ID is the same. It remains the same even if you move it to another network namespace. It's now in this network namespace, and if you list the devices on your host machine, you would see that you no longer see ETH0, but you would see it in the Stargate namespace. Why is this useful? For example, what if you want to run a copy of your database on the same IP that the production is running, but you don't want to ruin the production setup? You create a network namespace, you set up the IP, you run the MySQL there, that's it. It works. So what if you want to connect two network namespaces? Because, okay, we can move devices in and out of the network namespace. The problem is how we actually connect two network namespaces. We can do this with the virtual Ethernet pair devices. We create a VTH device with this command, and then this command actually creates two devices, VATH0 and VATH1. And what happens here is you first move VATH1 to the Stargate namespace, then VATH0 to the Babylon 5, and you're ready. The difference here between the two link set commands is the name. And you see the difference right here. In the Stargate namespace, you see the VATH1, right? It's obvious. While in the Babylon 5, we see ETH0. This is because we actually set to the Babylon we renamed VTH0 when we moved it to the Babylon 5 to now call it ETH0. You can rename all of your devices on your machine with the same command without NetNS Babylon. You can change the name of ETH0 to whatever you want. Okay, we are past this. You have to read the help, obviously. There is a good man page. If there is something missing from this man page, Michael would be very happy to receive bug reports. I'm here for the next 20 minutes if somebody have questions. Since this is writing talk, I don't believe we have questions after that.